What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Five Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, as always. It's Mr. Martin115, joined by my lovely dance partner above me.
Hello, everybody. I am Carmel. Welcome back for another week.
Another week and a big week in every fucking type of sport, because this week we have RCW returning to the path for -1. And of course, we had to go big again and get on the actual owner, the actual man behind RCW. Mr. Billy Bedlam is back with us.
Thanks, many guys. I've upped my game when it comes to my like, do you know what I mean? Because you're top trumping me there with all your wrestling memorabilia. So when I moved house, I set up my office. I was like, right, I need to get some wrestling memorabilia behind me.
Was most of that bought at Mania?
None of it was actually. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, the hat, my Cody hat, embroidered.
That's good.
That took way too fucking long to do. Like, I was standing there in the fan zone for about an hour, like, oh, come on. Oh, that was worth it.
Tell us about Mania. How was it? I believe that was your first Mania you went to, was it? Or
Just before we hit record, we were saying that there. It's been way too long since I was chatting to you, lads, so I apologize for being a little bit elusive. I always enjoy coming on the show, so thanks again for having me. Yeah, it was my first Mania. I thought it was going to be my last, but it's not. Um, I'm getting married next year, and I put the wedding far enough away from Mania that I can still go. So I was like, no, we got to get married the 1st of February. Why? Just because.
no other
That's the
reason.
best.
Shush, accept it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm hoping to go to Vegas as well next year. But Jesus, what an event it was, in fairness. Yeah.
And you did both nights, did you?
Yeah. We went for 5 days. Like, so there was a
5 days.
there was a whole heap of us went from Ireland. I travelled with Andy Steele. Jay Money was out there, LJ was out there, Steinsy was out there, Martin Steers was out there, Session Matt was out there, Katie Harvey was out there, both the Freshness. We had a crew, like, we met up with Valkyrie out there as well, for a couple of nights. Yeah, and then we partied with I met up with Gene and Damo, and hence Damo coming to work for RCW over a few points. And we had great crack, in fairness, with all the Progress lads too. So it was a fucking unbelievable. It was a great time.
And I have to obviously ask you about the two main events. The tag main event with Rock Roman, Cody, and Seth, and then Cody. What was it like being within the stadium with that type of thing, especially with Cody winning?
I think so night one was like just to be there. It was like, wow. And then the anticipation for The Rock, seeing The Rock live, like, I've seen Cody live up in Belfast. I've seen most of them live before. I wouldn't get super, like, well, you would, like, but I mean, The Rock is a different ballgame, like, isn't he? So you're just kind of waiting for that all night, and it was incredible entrance. And then the next night, the occasion, obviously, the match itself was probably the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
Did you cry?
I didn't have time. I I popped so hard for the Undertaker. I heard a different noise that I'd never heard before, and I've been in stadiums all over the world, different matches and whatnot. And obviously, wrestling is very different because you've like 75,000 people on the same page rather than halfy. But when the Undertaker's music hit, it noticeably went up a decibel. I was like, everyone was like, ah. So that was incredible. Yeah, it was incredible. It was incredible to be there. Yeah.
But even speaking on that Cody Roman match, like there was obviously a lot of speculation that they were going to do like Cena, and I know they thought was
Right.
Stone Cold.
Yeah.
But when you first see Cena actually come out, was it just that kind of realization of they're doing it, they're actually doing it, they're giving us what we want?
It was here we go, and then I think the Usos were first, and then then seeing The Rock or whatever way it went, I can't remember, but it was like, oh, here we go. It was building, and then fucking bang, and I go. Like for someone like me who's an old school fan of show my age, I lost my absolute shit when I heard the Undertaker's music.
So when can we actually expect Taker in RCW?
Yeah. When I win the lotto. Yeah. When we win the lotto. Chris Jericho booked in fucking the Neptune Stadium, Bedlam's after winning the lotto. Uh, That's it. Yeah.
Oh Jesus Christ! It's John Cena. He's out of retirement. What the fuck?
Yeah. He's on ring crew.
Oh, we didn't even put him in a match.
No,
John, you hold the
no.
camera there for us.
We get you in doing something, John.
Joe, sorry, we're gonna put you on commentary with Luke. I hope that's
Yeah,
okay
okay,
for you.
actually, that'd be good.
That'd actually be very good. Yeah,
Very good.
yeah.
I don't think we'd get the same Luke. I think he'd be too nervous.
Yeah, probably. Oh no, actually, I wouldn't say so.
No.
No, I wouldn't say so. Luke's Luke, I'd be like, there's John Cena there now. Yeah, I can see you. Hey. But no, it was an incredible occasion. And we went to Raw as well the next night, and we went to NXT that day, the morning of. We did it all. Like we went to myself and Jay Money went to a Progress show as well on the Friday and went steady drinking all day. So that was good. Yeah, that was good.
Well,
Speaking of which, because I know you would have worked with Lyra or Valkyrie, as she would have been
Yeah.
known as here. Like being at NXT and seeing her wrestle on that show, like what was that moment like?
Um, yeah, I mean, but I've seen her on TV and stuff, so it wasn't. It's not like it's not like you wouldn't have expected it. You'd be just
Yeah,
dead,
yeah,
dead proud to be associated with her in any kind of way. To be fair, you know what I mean. Just dead proud of what she's achieved, of her and where she came from through the school and the Fight Factory and everyone associated with. You want to see Katie Harvey sit next to me, she'd be like crying mammy. But yeah, just delighted for her and that's it. Yeah. We went for we met up. We went for JB was with us as well. Yeah, sorry, we had a great and double L and fucking was loads of us. But anyway, we all went out for dinner 2 nights in a row. And we caught up with her and it was great crack. Fairness. A lot of people coming up. That just the bit that it was the bit that people are asking her for autographs. That's when you know she's a star. Like, do you know what I mean?
yeah,
That's we were
yeah,
inside the Hard Rock Cafe and people are like, "Oh, we're rooting for you tomorrow" and all that. You're like, there's a lot of people coming up and saying that. Like, so whereas we be kind of used to seeing her on telly now, we're still used to just seeing her wrestling because she's been around so long and it's not something. As I said, it's not something we're not used to seeing. But yeah, she's a star.
well, listen, we'll leave off the WrestleMania now because obviously,
Yeah.
as you said, it's been ages since we spoke to you. I think three
Yeah.
shows now have gone by.
Oh Jesus.
Um,
Yeah.
three shows already. Time flies. Time flies
Yeah.
when you're busy and having fun. So I
Yeah.
want to talk RCW.
Yeah.
So as I said, three shows have gone by. The success of RCW, it's been around for it's a year and a half now, 2 years.
2 years November. Yeah. Well, yeah. It's pretty much look. It's just a rebranded Phoenix when you think about it. Really, like there's not much changed. There's a lot changed, but there's also not much change, if you know what I mean. So 2 years in RCW, personally speaking, 5 years, 6 years, nearly doing it now at this point.
But just for we'll say the year and a half, two
Yeah.
years of RCW, to like it, the success has grown so fast. You guys started off obviously the home of Cork wrestling for a long time was the PAV. You've gone over, or sorry, the Kino, moving on to
Yeah.
the PAV,
Yeah.
so quickly, and already you're selling out PAV shows. Like,
Yeah, it's a game changer. Yeah, the venue's a game changer. To be fair, obviously this particular show we're doing Saturday, it's still outdrawing what we did in the keynote every single show pretty much, but it's down on what we've been doing. We won't sell out like we sell out the seats, right? Like, but it's an incredible hard time of the year to sell Cork in the All Ireland final the next day.
yeah,
yeah.
I won't be doing a show next July, put it that way. And I put it on at very short notice as well. So, do you know what? We still have a great show. We have a great card and whatnot, but it won't. I'd be very surprised if we have the same numbers we've had lately. But that's not to say we're still not going to have a great show. Um, but yeah, it's a game changer. The PAV. It feels different. It feels louder. Even like since we last spoke, I wrestled myself.
yeah,
And even that is so different in the PAV. I've announced in the PAV loads of times, but it's a completely different energy in wrestling there. You're like, Jesus, you have the noise from everywhere. It's coming down, it's coming up, it's coming from the side, it's coming from here. Like it was a year and a half since I wrestled in the Kino and you wrestle to one side. I just kind of got used to that. and with the way the roof is shaped and the pav as well, the noise and the heat is in there. It's certainly different from even announcing, and I really felt it, the energy in the room myself. But yeah, no, the pav is a difference maker, and we have been going from strength to strength since moving to the pav. Little, it's not even a year yet, is it? No,
No,
Not
a
even no,
year.
no.
Yeah,
here
Jesus.
in September, I think.
No, September was our last one, the Kino.
That's yeah. It was
Yeah,
the one before was supposed to be the last one, and then that was the
yeah,
last one, and then
yeah, the real last
the
one.
real
Yeah,
last one
yeah,
after the
yeah.
whole
So we're
sing
coming up.
song and everything.
Yeah, we're coming up to a year in the pav, and it's night and day difference. The feel of the product and everything. It's just we've invested a lot of we've heavily invested in talent as well. Like, we brought in the likes of Haskins on a consistent basis. We've brought in Big Dame over here now. We've signed Big Dame. When I say signed, he's booked for 3 shows. Like, for the rest of the year. I think he'll miss the September, but he's in for November, December. Charlie Sterling, Greedy Souls, Rio, all at the same time now. So I mean, we're kind of we're looking to grow the product in every way. So that's been going really well.
That was actually one of my questions. I want to talk about the amount of like popular names I've gone through RCW. Like I have a few written down here, which you've named out a few, like Eric Young being one of the biggest
Yeah,
ones.
big one, yeah.
Haskins, Robbie X, who just seems to have
Yeah,
taken the core crowd, like
yeah,
absolutely beloved in RCW.
yeah.
Marty Whelan was there. I think at one point.
Yeah.
It looked like him, anyways.
Galacini.
But like getting in these big names and the crowd going absolutely crazy obviously has to be so kind of gratifying for yourself. And then like, how do you think, God, okay, how do I top this name?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of. I'm not looking to. I got away from that as a promoter. Like, look at the top. I just want to stay at this level.
Mm,
At this level of really good wrestling shows. Some are going to be better than others, just for the feel of a crowd or the way a match would have went. But I've been exceptionally happy on a consistent basis with everything we've done. And if I can stay at that level, I'm very happy. If we have a bad show, I won't be happy. But we haven't had a bad show. Everything has gone really, really well in my opinion, since we moved to the PAV. We've had some issues before that going in, but it was more venue issues related rather than there was never a question of any of the wrestlers
yeah.
or anything. Everyone always gave it 10 out of 10, even more so in some occasions. So yeah, I think we're seeing a payoff now of a lot of hard work over the years too. So the only thing we're missing is, and I've said it before, and at the moment I'm looking hard to try and find a base in Cork because I've just recently moved back to Cork from Dublin full time. The only thing we're missing is we have no generational talent coming through now in Cork.
Mm,
And I am suffering as a promoter because I have to book everybody from outside now. Like Reardon O'Connor is the last one that came through Cork. Big Chris, my apologies. And he would have made his debut probably in Hard Knocks before us, like,
yeah.
which for me, I mean, Chris from Cork, I was there when he did his first training sessions in Phoenix and an open day. So he should have been coming through us, if you know what I mean, in all things being
Yeah,
equal.
yeah.
We're kind of missing that a little bit. We're suffering a little bit from that. That's the only missing part of the puzzle for me as we try and produce a conveyor belt of the next LJ Clearys or the next Owen Richards or Raven Creek from Cork. That's the question mark. But hopefully, in the next 6 to 9 months, we'll address that too.
You kind of want to have that as well. Like let's say please God, somebody kind of makes it big. Does like a Lyra or Finn.
Yeah,
You kind of want to have that. From Cork.
yeah, I'd love it. Yeah,
You know.
yeah. I'm sure there's somebody. I'm sure there's people there. I mean, it's been 4 years since we closed the school during COVID. I mean, that's a long time ago now. A lot of people have messaged me over the years, and it's more of a timing issue. Like I literally, and this is as true as I'm sitting here, I have one more payment to make on the old gym that I closed 4 years ago because I had to pay that personally myself. Like, and once that's paid, I'm okay. But in my head, it's like I'm not opening another gym until I have that paid off. It's
Yeah.
only 300 quid a month, but I've had to pay nearly 9 grand back myself with my own money over a period of 3 years. So that's done now. So now I'm going to look to put a business plan together to try and get the next generation through.
Do you want to throw in a question there, Carmel?
I was actually just going to throw in there as well, like you were doing, like Martin there was kind of listing off names of people that we've seen in
Yeah.
RCW. But I think one of the big things that's kind of been done is bringing in the likes of Rio and Robbie X
Yeah,
on like a regular basis
yeah,
because they're two big names, especially over in the UK. Rio,
yeah,
we've never really seen in Ireland before. RCW would have been kind of the first kind of consistent basis,
yeah,
and Robbie X we see here and there.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
I think it's like a big attraction to
yeah.
go to an RCW show and to get to see that kind of caliber of star really show after
Absolutely,
show
yeah,
after show.
yeah, absolutely. Uh, uh, we brought in Rio last year, and she just gelled so quick, so easy with everyone backstage. I was like, here of all the bookings, here's all the dates. She couldn't make the last show because it was just a clash with ICW. But same with Robbie X. Although I'd probably use him a little bit more sparingly because he's very much the man for that match, if you know what I mean. But if you have him there every single show, that gets stale. So he will be back, but I think we might just take a little break. As we're bringing in more people like Omari, and I'm sure I want to bring in Keane Noon and give him a rattle off the Super X tournament. Other like
Please.
there's other people that I can have or that and they're like Matthew Bullet as well as another lad we had down. I'd love to see him in the Rebel X setup. You know what I mean? So there's loads of people in Ireland as well that we can mix in with that. Rio though is unique though. There's not an awful lot of um, there's none basically new girls coming through. None,
Yeah.
none that I see. So and we do more intergender here anyway at this point, but there's none coming through. So you have to bring them in. But she's a star and she's a pleasure to be around. Yeah. I don't even look at Gene as an import at this point. He's just
He's
like
part of it.
Yeah,
yeah, he stays in my Affleck and just he's just part of the crew at this point. And Haskins as well. I'm delighted to work with Haskins. I'm a long time fan of his. Back when I was a real fan of Progress, we're talking 2015, 16, 17, probably around that mark.
Mm.
Before I was actually a promoter, and I was just kind of watching wrestling as a fan and a wrestler. A really, really big fan of his. So I'm delighted that we can bring him in. And he's upping the product as well, right? So yeah,
Now,
yeah.
I want to ask about one person, and you can throw it off if need be. But is there anything going on with the Moose situation, and maybe him finally coming in, or is that just dead in the water?
For now, it's dead in the water. Like it's just, I don't know, and I don't want to stick my neck out here and to talk ill of anybody, but I don't really know that he actually did. We really ever have him booked? And I don't think it's on Moose's part. I think there was a go between there, and because I didn't see him advertised anywhere else. I think maybe the guy that was booking him was the same guy that we used for Eric Young. So, and he does lot of stuff. I just don't know that was it really concrete, and maybe he
Yeah.
got ahead of and offered them to us when we shouldn't have. And maybe it was just a misunderstanding somewhere. But anyway, for now that's off the table. That's off the table. Yeah.
Well, you brought up the Rebel X there, and obviously, I love this idea now, the Super X tournament.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can tell us about that? How it's going to work? Obviously, we have the first
Yeah. Yeah.
match
Sure.
coming up on the next show, and with a big debut in that match as well.
Yeah, well, we're going to see a couple of big debuts in the next three shows. So, in essence, it's Haskins is busy now, right? Because he has two titles, and he's not actually on the next show
Mm.
because we put the show on in short notice, and to be fair, he wasn't supposed to be champ. The way that the way things being equal, but anyway, so I kind of put together a Super XS tournament. And the way it's going to work is there's going to be three matches, three qualifiers, right? Going through to the final in December. And whether Haskins is champion at that point or not remains to be seen. But the three qualifiers will face off with whoever the champion is at the time. And that's going to be a very special match. It's going to be a match that hasn't been seen before in Ireland. I can't say what it is right now because I'm dependent on some engineering going on.
Uh,
But it's going to be a very super match indeed. So look, we play it by ear, but it's going to be an ultimate experience. Yeah,
can I
I'll
just get
go.
my money now because I feel like I know. I feel like I feel like I've said this.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like that little bit of a throw in there at the end with the
yeah.
ultimate
Look,
part.
it sounds
That's pretty
never
good.
go
Yeah, I
back.
like that.
I love this as well. So Haskins will be defending the title in the time of this tournament going on.
Oh yeah, I would imagine so. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I thought maybe this might be something. Okay, find my next challenger, and we run it to December. I love that.
No, but I mean, to be fair, we have to see what we literally have to see. We have two champions now. We've Honor Richards and we have the interim, so we have to wait see how that plans out as well. Haskins is defending one or two belts for me in the UK next week in Chaos, or in the next couple of weeks over in Chaos as well. And we will definitely see Flash Morgan Webster debuting in the Super X tournament in November. Because he got injured, he couldn't make the last shows. But I was chatting to him on Saturday. I met him on Saturday. He was doing a seminar in the Fight Factory, and his rehab is going well. So he's very much up for it. Taking his place in that tournament as well. So
No, a few. Obviously, a name there for the tournament. We got to talk about the names that are going into the first
yes,
match
yeah,
with Terry Thatcher, who's one of my all-time favorites on this island,
yeah,
Renzo Rose,
yeah,
Butch Armstrong,
yeah.
and the debuting Omari.
Yeah, I'm super excited about Amari. All right, like I've never met him. I've just chatted to him. One of those ones. He's probably one of the only people in Ireland that I haven't met involved in wrestling that needs to be met, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Just we just kept eluding each other, but yeah, delighted to have him. Delighted to have him, and I'm hoping we can work together on a few bits, you know. So, um, he comes with his reputation. He's a fantastic wrestler, probably one of the most natural wrestlers you'll see. He's going to light up the RCW. If there's people, and there's a lot of fans that go to our shows that don't really know what's going on in Irish wrestling because they wouldn't be wrestling fans as such. They're local fans, if you know what I mean. There's a large pop.
Yeah.
The fan base do know what's going on, but there's a lot of them that just come to our shows for the night out, and now they're wrestling fans because of that. So they wouldn't have known Robbie X. No, they do. They
Yeah.
mightn't know Amari. They will on Saturday night. You know. So yeah, super excited for that. Super excited to have Terry Thatcher back. And Butch Armstrong is wants to throw his hat in the singles action. He's been there in merit. He's a former tag champ. He had a great match last year with LJ and Charlie Sterling. He's well able at that level. So yeah, I think we'll see a lot more of Butch Armstrong as well in the singles action. He's not broken up with JDP, but I know he's been asking for some singles matches too. So
Just testing the water. I have to ask though, what's kind of because like the Rebel X is near enough your baby. This was something you came up with
mm,
for excitement.
yeah.
This is another big. Like, what's your excitement levels to see this match? Because I know your whole thing with this is lads go in, fucking
Yeah,
go.
go nuts. Go nuts, yeah. I think this one is in a more like they were all great matches, but they kind of becoming a little samey.
Mm,
You can interchange any one of Fabio, Martin, Haskins, Robbie X, and you kind of get the same match-ish, if you know what I mean.
mm,
With the greatest of respect, they're not the same match, but styles make matches too. Like, who's not to say we might see Damo in the fucking thing, you know, throwing whooshing fellas around. Do you know? Because I really want to make it. I love this tour, this division, and I think we can do something really cool with it. And we have done something really cool. So the likes of Butch and Renzo are very different wrestlers as well. To Terry and Omari. So yeah, yeah. Looking forward to it. I'm not saying Big Damo is in the. I'm
Yeah,
just saying you would see somebody like him.
I'd love to see so like not to be bad or anything, but like a bigger
Yeah.
person in the Rebel X because I don't know if you watch WB Speed on X. Whenever they throw in a Bronson Reed or something that gets me more excited because I
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to see
yeah,
what the fuck they're gonna do. You
yeah,
know, because
yeah.
it's that excitement factor.
When Samoa Joe was in TNA years ago, and he was the
yeah,
X Division champion, just fucking hoofing fellas around the place.
yeah.
It's
I think
like
you have that in a lot of ways now with Amari though, because Amari's he's super strong, like, and he can throw anyone around that ring.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, he is a big buckle. So yeah, looking forward to that. Yeah, yeah,
do you want to throw a question in, Carmel?
I was actually going to stick on to the next show and just another match that's happening. And it kind of sticks into that kind of Rebel X kind of side of things. We have Martin Steers and Fabio going
yeah,
one on one.
yeah,
A match that I'm very much excited for. and a match
Yeah,
that's been kind of coming ahead for a while now in RCW.
yeah. The freshness are imploding. Yeah, they're it's all about multiverses, right? So yeah, so like for us in Cork, obviously they don't get on. Sears has cost Fabio on a few occasions now at this point. He cost him his title. Fabio's been quiet about it. He's been coy, but he demanded this match, to be fair to him. So I yeah, I think they're gonna do a lot of cool things. I think they're possibly gonna be match of the night because they always wanted to outdo each other anyway. But now that there's a little bit of niggle and a bit of rivalry thrown in, I think we could get some very good organized violence.
I have to ask you though.
Name for the show, good organized violence, actually.
You heard it first. Whatever show the next couple of months, there. I have to
I
ask
just
you
sent
though.
my I just sent the next show in for submission already to the graphic designer today, so it won't be that one.
What is going on, guys? Martin here from TheFiveMarks, and we have a massive giveaway for you people. On September 1st, Hard Knocks Pro Wrestling is back in Dolan's for Hard Knocks Undeniable, with LJ Cleary returning to defend the Hard Knocks World title against also Hard Knocks World Champion Sammy D, and we've got 2 tickets to give away for you guys. Well, Martin, how do I win those tickets? What you do is you make sure you are subscribed to the TheFiveMarks YouTube, and you take a screenshot. In the post below, post that screenshot showing that you are subscribed to the channel. Leave a comment with your favourite Hard Knocks moments in the 2 years of Hard Knocks. And as well, let us know how many tickets you want. Some people want the 2, some people just want 1 ticket. So let us know, because if you don't want it, we can give away to somebody else. So make sure you follow all them steps and get your ass down to Dolan's Warehouse September 1st for Hard Knocks Undeniable. I have to ask you, because was it you're like you're the uncle and they're the nephews, is it, with Martin and Fabio?
Oh yeah, Uncle Betsy. Yeah, well, sometimes you have to leave the young generation just duke it out and not take sides. You know?
So we're not going to see you kind of going, lads, please don't do this.
Oh God, no! Fuck it, lads, go in, please do it. You know what I mean? Fight for my affection. Whoever wins will be my favorite.
Oh no, don't fight over me.
Yeah, yeah, fight.
Now, one thing I love that it kind of goes on, like it just, you could say it just happens. I love that you kind of go to Wrestling, you promote, you come on here and you promote. But one thing as well that you've done, which I thought was an absolutely brilliant move, was bringing in what's his first name? O'Hagan is his last.
Rory, yeah,
Rory
Rory.
O'Hagan from Cork
Yeah.
FM.
Mm.
Brilliant fucking move. Like, because you have someone on there as well who can kind of talk about the upcoming shows and promote it to the people of Cork, being the
Yeah.
GM and stuff like that.
Yeah. Rory's he's a long time friend of wrestling in Cork anyway. Even back in the CCW days, I used to go in and do radio stuff for Lee with Rory. So we built up a good friendship over a period of time. And big fan. And I just approached him. I was like, would you like to he hosted 5 years ago our first anniversary show with Phoenix as well. So I was like, would you like to do this for a few shows? Do we feel? He was like, love to. So he's in, and it's good exposure for us, right? As well. From there's We're still trying to grow our audience. I still have big expansion plans for next year, do even more. But we need a team behind us, and we need people that know people in certain places as well. So he's a great ally to have in that regard. So yeah, so he's going to be there full time, and it's always nice to have somewhere else to plug the show as well in local perspective from a radio, So yeah.
I thought it was absolutely like, a brilliant move just to kind of get the brand out there, get the name out there,
Yeah.
and then the
Yeah.
people who, the Laps fan that's kind of just there but kind of slipping out. Oh, what? This is going on in Cork?
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it frees up a spot then as well. Like, I mean, I don't really like. I'm back training as well. CBL was doing it in the interim when he was injured. So, like, we don't really want wrestlers to be, GMs. To be fair, like, we want somebody that's on a non-wrestling capacity to be able to hold the fort, as they say. And yeah, he did a pretty good job on his first night out with when CBL got injured and Haskins challenged Andy Steele at the death. Like, so yeah, that was all done kind of on the fly, as they say. So that was well done, in fairness.
Well, I was going to bring this up a little later on, but might as well talk about it now. Obviously, at the last show, Andy Steele doing a little bit of a dive to the
Mm,
outside. I don't know if CPL kind of caught one of the chairs or what happened.
yeah,
Obviously, bust himself open. Maybe concussion. You'd know more than I would.
yeah, yeah.
What was the? I don't know if you were in the back or anything like that, but what was the
I
kind
wasn't.
of talk? With all that type of thing going on?
Yeah. Well, it happens very quick, right? And thankfully, these things don't happen too often, but they do happen from time to time where somebody gets injured, right? And you have to make an audible or change something up because the match had only started a wet minute, like, and it was our main event. So CBL was pulled out of the match by the medic. That's so important to have a medical staff there, because he didn't get concussion or anything. Thankfully, it was just a glance. But you're right, he did slit his eye on the chair, got 8 stitches. But it was bad enough that he couldn't continue because it was very deep. Um, so Andy's like CBL was counted out. Andy Steele won the match via count out and was, I think, RCW champion for about 8 minutes. And then Haskins went down and challenged him, and Rory made the match on the fly. So yeah, it was good. It was good, but thankfully those things don't happen very often. I was attending to CBL with the medic, thankfully those things don't happen very often.
And then obviously, like I know you kind of gave your thoughts earlier on, but now you mentioned it. You don't just have a person with one title; you have a person with two titles. Haskins is now interim RCW World Champion and the Rebel X World Champion, two champ Haskins. So
Yeah, yeah.
obviously, I gotta talk to you about that.
Well, it suits him, doesn't it? He put up a great photograph when he was like that with the two belts. So it's like, we're onto something here, even though that wasn't the way it was originally. But look, the landscape changes, you go with it, right? So now we're in a situation where we have a couple of avenues that we're going to, like, we've Charlie Sterling, who is the number one contender, and was slated for a match at the start of the summer, except he had a knee surgery, so he's coming back in September. He's going to have his number one contendership match. So whether that's going to be a three-way with Haskins and Richie or whatever, I don't know it, or ownership. So like that's something we need to address. We need to figure out we can't have two champions running around. One defending their belt in Cork, one defending their belt in the UK next week. So, we gotta it's gotta be champion versus champion at some point, right? The two belts on the line for unit. So I think that's probably the direction we're going to head. And we'll see where Charlie Sterling fits into the mix as well.
Do you want to throw it in, Carmel?
I was just going to say to have someone like Haskins now obviously be champion, have an RCW belt be defended in the UK. For
Mm.
you, how kind of I suppose big or important is that to have
Yeah,
that RCW spread?
yeah, it's very important. I think we've often had belts, or sorry, other people's belts defended on our show. But I just think it shows how far we are becoming, as a promotion, to say that we can have our belts defended by great wrestlers on other shows as well, in the UK. So and Chaos is a very good promotion, really well run. They do great numbers. They've Gangrel in September as well. So they're a really big promotion in that regard. So I'm incredibly proud of ourselves and our team that something like this is available to us. So yeah, I'm delighted, and we will get that footage, and we'll be able to share it as well for our own fan base, as soon as we get it. Like, so, yeah, delighted with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I want to take a small break from talking about the current show or the next show, I suppose,
yeah,
and I want to go back to the Easter show where you made your triumphant return in the ring.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Something that I just want to talk about. You said it that you earlier on that like standing in the ring, you hear the crowd from below you, above you, side,
yeah,
everywhere. But hearing Zombie again while you make your entrance,
yeah.
I suppose, how cool of a moment was that?
That was very cool. It was very cool. It was what kind of it's what kind of drove me on last year when I was out injured recovering from stomach surgery. I thought about that moment. I thought about that walk to the ring so often. I listened to Zombie so often, just to close my eyes and see myself doing it. And the reason I'm doing that is so I can bring myself to go training and put in the hard yards, because it's not easy at my age to train with lads that are 20 years younger than me. I mean, you think fucking Martin Steers and Fabio are hard are in the ring when I see them training. like they're animals, like they go at it hard, and like, we all have a responsibility to be at that level. If you're any credibility as a wrestler, you've got to be training full time, right? Otherwise, don't wrestle. So I put myself through that as well. But it was an incredible feeling walking out to the pav, a packed sold out pav, um, walking out there, tagging with Raven Creed. Such a great moment as well. Do you know what I mean? Because we've a lot of history in the business, myself and herself tagging together. So it was lovely to have a therapy reunion. And out there with Jean and Debbie as well. Just they looked after me well. I was incredibly nervous because I hadn't wrestled so long. I hadn't wrestled in the PAV. I was making my RCW debut. I hadn't had a big match of that in a while, and in a long while. And your nerves are there, and you're in your own head, and you're just I was delighted to be able to do it and get it over and done with, so now I can go on to do it again. But it was you gotta sometimes you just gotta fucking stop and enjoy a moment. And I certainly enjoyed that every single minute of it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I milked it. If you saw it back, I milked
Oh, I remember texting Mikey, and him going. I was like, "Oh, what a class reaction!" Him going, yeah, "He milked the fuck out of it, though, didn't he?"
yeah, yeah. Oh, I sure did. Yeah. Well, you know what? Sometimes you got to think to yourself, you fucking deserve something, and I put in a lot of work over the years.
Well,
Um,
that's one thing I
yeah,
wanted to bring up because when we had Luke on the last time, he was very big on no one's put in as much work as this man. He was there for the first show. He was he's seeing you going through the surgery and stuff like that to getting your way back up. We've had the teases of stunners and this, that, the other, and to finally have that
yeah,
kind of that moment of walking out, and the reaction when Zombie came on was just second to none.
yeah.
Second to none.
Getting chills down out thinking of it. Yeah, they're very kind words from Marion Armstrong, but look, it's a team effort at the end. I know I spearhead everything. Obviously, it's my responsibility, excuse me, to do more work because I'm more on the line from a financial perspective as well. But it's not all me. I have an incredible group of people behind me and support me in every aspect. Of it. Even from a local scene, you've got Raven Creed, you've got Butch Armstrong, Marion Armstrong doing an awful lot. You've got Reardon O'Connor, Big Chris. They're very like Mr. Charlie, Matt Skyler, all these people as well. I've great support from the Fight Factory, Katie Harvey, Justy, Michael May, in the freshness, LJ, even I still chat to him the whole time, man. Like I might be the driving force behind it, but I can't do it on my own, like.
Yeah.
And we've got a great group of people at that and CBL as well. We've got a great group of people that care about RCW. They're part of the core group. So yeah, I'm very proud to be associated with them people, and I'm very proud to be. I won't say they're leader. It's not that like that, but very to be the face of the company, and the owner, and I'm getting to work with all these people so often. It's great. It's a pleasure.
Now I know obviously we'll get into all the stuff that happened afterwards. I have a string of questions that kind of lead into each other.
Mm.
So I'll come back to that in a bit because I want to ask. So obviously I spoke about the Super X tournament, and I want to when can I have a fight with Luke? Because I've always said I wanted to do an Always promo, and he's promoting this with the Always Saliva theme song. I need to tell him to f off. That's my thing. Let me do
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Well, you can do it live anytime you want, pal. If you want to come. We
When I
can do
see
something in the
this,
pre-show. We must get you in. We do something in the pre-show sometime. Maybe not this show because it's too close, but I want to start. I want to start doing stuff on the pre-show from just a crowd interaction perspective, have some chats, and it'd be good to have something like that maybe in September if you're up for it. Bring in a bit early, sit down the ring, and have a chat with Luke, and maybe record 10 or 15 minutes of your podcast there and then in the ring. I'd probably do the same with Wrestle Slam and anybody else who's wants to kind of do that thing. So yeah, I think maybe we could do that.
we're always up for anything that involves
Yeah, I
recording.
Yeah,
love it. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
um, but once I seen that like the promo go up and I seen the song, went that fucking prick. He knows that I want that so bad.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
What's
Yeah.
your kind of sorry, I'll rephrase it. What's your thoughts on the current tag team situation with? We no longer have tag titles here. They're trio titles now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like doing stuff that's not been done right. Much anyway, and it's not been done in Ireland, I don't think ever. I could be wrong in that, but it's certainly not something that's done a lot.
No,
So when I was putting together a couple of teams, it was like, let's put threes together and see what happens here. So, but if you introduce a trios belt at the start, then it always has to be trios belt. But if you introduce a tag belts and then it's a trios belt, you can just take one away from time to time and then it's tag belt
you
again.
free bird it.
Exactly. So it's right now it's the trios, but who's to know? Who's to say that might go back down to a tag team at some point? But yeah, we've got some cool trios knocking around. So obviously we've got more money, more problems who are champs. We've got Party Hardys and Galaccini who've aligned together. We've got Strong Style with Rio, Chris, and Reardon. We've got the good, the bad, the boyd, and the ugly as well. But I don't know how King Phil is going to fit into all that. But so there's potential. Who knows for alliances to form. We got Rose Tinted Glasses who made their debut last time out. I'm extremely excited for Renzo Rose and JB to see what they're like in with us, So yeah, so there's lots going on. The Bearded Beauties are still there. They want a rematch for their tag team titles. Um, Greedy Souls will be back this year. So
Ooh,
yeah, look, every division we have, there's loads of options.
100%.
Yeah.
Carmo, do you want to throw in a question before I go on to
Yeah, that
my
makes it really exciting.
string
I
of
was
one?
actually while you just brought up King Phil, the
Yeah.
new king of Irish wrestling.
All hail the
Um,
king.
he's going to be addressing his subjects, as it
Yeah.
said in the promo picture at the next show.
Yeah.
Any idea what we can expect from King Phil?
No, no, I don't know. That's the honest. I mean, you can manage the show, but like King Phil's the king, like so. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Yeah,
Carmo,
yeah.
you'll have to tune in
Whatever
now
it's
on
going to be, it's
Saturday.
going to be it's going to be entertaining. To be fair,
I can't. I was like, does that make Justy his Joker or his Queen or anything like that?
I don't know. I
See,
just don't
it's all
know.
stuff people have to find out tomorrow night.
Wait out Saturday, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
find
Well,
out
you
tomorrow
know,
night when you go down to the Pav.
yeah,
So
absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
let's
yeah.
let's talk about the elephant in the room, and which was at the end of your last match.
Hmm.
Obviously, yourself and Raven Creed got the win. Big moment,
Hmm.
finally RCW debut, and Raven hits you from behind.
Yeah,
Then places the card on your chest to declare that you are one of the seven deadly sins.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I won't say that it was entirely not expected either, we have a colourful history, myself and Raven, and it's not always been rosy in the garden. Even when we were wrestling during the match, there was a little bit of we weren't exactly on the same page throughout the entire match, put it that way. So yeah, it wasn't when I kind of came to, it wasn't that unexpected. I was like, yeah, it's on, and it will be on. Don't get me wrong, it was supposed to be the last show, but events unfolded that it unfolded, and I wasn't able to wrestle. But I will be back very soon, and in my absence, I believe there was a colorful character handing her back the Joker card that came from under the ring. So
Well,
I don't I don't know who that was, but
one of my
she
questions
got the
was
card turned to her anyway.
one of my questions actually was going to be, where were you actually that night of say hello to my little friend? Were you out making jokes or anything like that, or
Backstage,
backstage?
backstage, as I was when CBI got injured and I came back out.
Ah, well, I just wanted to make, and obviously we know that you got pulled from the last show.
Hmm.
Was nothing, say medically not being medically cleared or anything like that. You're 100% ready to go whenever the time calls.
Nothing like that, yeah. Just circumstances.
I mean, the next question then is, where are you going to be on Saturday with this open challenge?
Oh yeah. No. I am 100% not answering an open challenge. That's too easy. That would be predictable and be expected. It's not me.
I like that answer. I
It's
really
actually
like
gonna
that
be in
answer.
Dublin.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%. 100%. Well, yeah, I'm hopefully be in Dublin actually, as you said. But I don't plan to be wrestling on Saturday night. No, no, no. The time will come. I'm comfortable. I'm going nowhere. The time will come. And we whenever it is, it'll be what it will be. Yeah.
I know we got Luke's thoughts because obviously Luke again, someone who knows Raven so close. You being
Mm.
one of our former tag partners as well. The seven deadly sins. We saw what happened with the ending of Raven Reardon.
Mm.
Chris Connolly coming out costing her the match, depending on who you ask. I nearly died for asking that before. What are your thoughts on the seven deadly sins and what Raven Cree is trying to do and trying to, kind of push her way back to the top?
Well, she's getting there, isn't she? I mean, whether I was there or not, she defeated Steve Savage. No matter what way you look at it, there was a referee there, and he counted to three. So that's a W in the books, right? She's on to the next one. How many sins are left? Who are the sinners that remain in her life? Remains to be seen. But she's obviously got something in her mind, and I'm sure she's going to tell us on Saturday.
Carmel, any questions you want to throw in?
I just kind of have one a quick talk on, and we kind of spoke about it very briefly earlier on, which is Owen Richards and Big Demo for the World Championship.
Yeah.
Obviously, you talked about bringing Big Demo in and how much of a big thing that is.
Yeah.
But like Owen Richards is pushing up onto a year as being world champion,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
it's been an incredible run. And some of the people he's gone up against.
Yeah.
How I suppose like you've known Owen for quite a while. How I suppose proud of him nearly are you of him of the run he's had over the last year?
Well, if you look past the fact that he's a dickhead for a moment,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm incredibly proud of him. He's been on a great run in Irish wrestling in general, right? Multiple titles in different promotions. He is an incredible, loyal, hard worker, and he puts in a big shift outside of the ring. He holds himself to a very high standard, obviously, gimmick aside, but like he does hold himself to a very high standard in his training and his character and what he does. Himself and Andy Steele work really well together. Um, so yeah, will they work together or against each other in the coming months in RCW? Who knows? He couldn't. Andy Steele couldn't get the job done for him, so I'm sure he'll address that at some point as well in the future. But no, he's a great guy. He's a great guy to have as champ. He he's done a great job in the absence of LJ when LJ went to Japan. So yeah, great job.
Is there anything
love
else you want to throw in, Carmel?
that's pretty much
Well,
all I have.
I want to
I
ask.
suppose
Oh, go on.
on the sense of Big Demo though, that's a tough challenge for Owen Richards to have.
Yeah.
We could see a new world champion coming in, which then leads to ramifications over the line with the likes of Mark Haskins and stuff like
Well,
that.
it's not as if the belts didn't change hands on multiple occasions already. So who knows?
Yeah,
Damo and Owen Richards, it's a very interesting match because Owen Richards is not the big guy in this one. He was the big guy. He was still the big guy against Eric Young. He's physically a big guy. Like Eric Young's no small guy. Don't get me wrong, but I mean Owen Richards is still a big guy. Bigger guy against LJ. Bigger guy against Robbie X. Bigger guy against Haskins. Would have been the bigger guy against Flash Morgan. Is not the bigger man against Damo. So this is his biggest challenge in my regard to date. Former WWE guy, wrestles all over the world at Big Damo. He's a big man, well able to move. So I have no doubt he'll be hoofing on Richards, yeeting him all over the path on Saturday night.
And I hope all I can say is I hope Haskins is kind of keeping an eye after the show and stuff like that. Maybe watch the match back because imagine Haskins having to go up against Big Damo for that title.
Yeah,
What possibilities it could have in the world of RCW.
yeah, yeah. You never know what's going to happen. And speaking of you never know what's going to happen, we also have more money, more problems first defense of their trios belts against
Nice.
the
Gary,
new alignment of Katie Harvey and Session Matt, which is very entertaining. And then
Party
Galachi.
Hardys.
Party Hardys, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I love it. Yeah,
With
yeah,
the
yeah.
addition of, I hate him, but Carmel loves him for some reason, Galacini.
Bertie will.
Great guy. Well, in the multiverse, you can love him, right? So it depends
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it depends what universe you step into, like, do you know what I mean? So yeah, no, he's a good fit for that team. So yeah, looking forward to that. Yeah, looking forward to that.
Now, obviously, like the show coming up now on Saturday, massive, massive things planned. Depending on if there's another show, more shows in between to ask you, three more shows left after this: September
Yeah,
14th, November 2nd, and I think December 6th. I'm
yeah,
reading them all to the side, so don't think I know them off my heart if you're listening.
yeah. That's okay. Yeah, I can check myself. I gotta check
um,
myself.
you've already said a load of stuff going down. One thing that I'm already extremely excited about. I got very giddy. Where do you go after this show now? You know, are you kind of planning, let's say, two shows ahead? You plan three shows ahead in
Yeah.
terms of
Good question.
title matches and stuff like that.
I plan three. I kind of book three shows at a time. This one is kind of standalone because it was put on at the last minute. Um, but I do things in threes. Not everything in threes, but I do plan shows in threes. So I have a fair idea what's happening, or I have a fair idea what direction we're going in nearly every aspect of the shows over the next three shows. Yeah. Unless obviously got to change with the landscape if somebody gets injured or somebody's not available, which happens all the time. You got to roll with the punches, but I'd have a fair idea who we want in, what the matches are going to be, and where we're going with the product. Yeah. And we
Yeah,
start to book. I already have my first show of next year booked, 25th of January. That's not announced yet, like, but that's booked with the PAV. Then I got to go get married and figure out what I want to do for the remainder of next year as well. I think we're going to try something a bit different next year. We're still going to be in the PAV, obviously, but we might try something a little bit different and bigger. We'll see. It all depends on how big the appetite for it is in Cork.
I wanted to ask you because like one of the last times we had you on, obviously there was talks of you wanted to kind of have that one kind of solidified kind of show, that big show to kind of build towards. Is that still
Yeah,
in the books?
I'd love to do it. Yeah, it depends. Like it all depends. If we're growing the product, yes. If we're not, then no. I'm not stupid. Not going to take a big financial risk and trying to put on this show in Neptune Stadium if we're drawing 200 people because you can't go from 200 to 1,500. It's just not possible.
Yeah,
If we're starting to put more and more people in the PAV and we start to do more family shows around Cork and they're drawing well, and the indications are there that we might be able to handle something bigger, then we might take a look at it. But if we're not, then we won't. We'll stay where we are and we'll just try and organically grow. We'll see. It has to we like you don't there's no crystal ball, but I won't take a massive financial gamble unless I'm pretty sure we can do something. And it all depends on who you need the right draw too, right? You need somebody big. You need one or two right big people and they are out there. It's all about timing as well, you know. So we have to wait and see. It is something I'd love to do, but I'm not in a mad rush to do it
yeah,
because right now it doesn't make sense.
yeah. Just kind of take a day at a time, enjoy the ride.
Yeah, exactly. One show at a time, and we're growing organically. The numbers are getting bigger every time, and yeah, like the summer aside now, because it's always a tough draw on the summer, in the middle of the summer. Like we a lot will be we'll know a lot more in our next three shows from September, November, December, especially who the guys we're bringing in, and on the December show will be a big one. That'll be a big tester. But you'll find out tomorrow night who that is.
Ooh.
Yeah, well,
Carmo, is there anything you want to throw in before I throw something to Billy?
I have one last question,
Shoot.
and I think it's the most important question. Are Cork going to win the All Ireland?
Ah,
As an optimistic Corkman, I think we gotta go win it, yeah. It's been too long since Cork won it. You guys had yours 10 years ago. Fuck off and leave us of ours. You know? Hoggy needs one. It's crying shame and I don't know about it. I'm fearful because it's Clare a good side, like Clare a very good side. This is Cork's first year in the All Ireland in a while. The COVID All Ireland doesn't really count because we got fucking annihilated anyway. So it's the first time being back there since Clare beat us 10 years ago, 11 years ago. So it's going to be hard. I expect a great game. And I just pray that, and this time I will actually pray that Cork come out on top. Yeah. We won't fall out over it either way, though, right?
No, no,
I
no,
don't
no.
know. If
We'll
Cork
remain
win, I
friends. We'll
might
remain
just stop
friends.
going to RCW altogether. December shows off. I'm
Yeah,
I'm
fuck
done.
it. Yeah. And will be just me and you, pal, doing the Five Marks podcast next time.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
You
Yeah,
refuse
I'll
that,
still be
man.
on
But listen, obviously there's 24 hours as of this going out before the show happens. Why should people get down to RCW tomorrow night?
It's a very special show. I think it's going to be our showcase of the summer. We have some big debuts. We have Big Demo. We got More Money, More Problems. We got a lot going on. We got King Phil. It's going to be a really good show, and it's going to be a good feel good factor too. So yeah, get your ass down there.
It's going to be a fun night. And you can check out Carmel there too. Please annoy him.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll unfortunately be working, so please annoy Carmel as much as you possibly can. It's going to be a great time. But again, Mr. Billy, thank you so much for coming on.
No problem. Thank you so much.
Where can people find you and find RCW on social medias?
I don't handle the social media, so just Google RCW and I'm sure you'll find us
Comes up.
on Instagram and on the Twitter box and on Facebook and yeah, and our newly launched website actually. Ooh, it's very pretty. I don't know, did you guys see that or not?
I didn't.
Yeah, so I might find that and send that to you. And our new range of merch is coming to an online shop very soon as well. So we're launching an online shop
nice.
as well after the next show. So yeah.
It's all,
Trying to get bigger all the time.
it's all coming up now.
Yeah.
I look forward to it. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much as always for coming on. We appreciate it.
problem.
And we're definitely let's not leave it too long this time.
No. I'll see you for the next show for September. Let's definitely do something. Yeah.
Carmel, where can everybody find us?
Everybody can find us on Five Marks Pod on Twitter and Five Marks Podcast everywhere else, I believe.
That's exactly right.
I
Five
should
Marks
know that by
Pod
now,
on
but
X, Five Marks Podcast everywhere else. If you don't know, they're right there to the left of Carmel. Just look it on the screen. Actually, maybe it's on your right, whichever way you're watching this on YouTube. Mr. Bedlam, thank you so much as always. We love chatting to you. I love picking your brain about booking and stuff like that.
No problem. It was a pleasure, lads.
Carmel, what is it for this week?
Again, thanks, Billy. I'll see you Saturday. I can't wait for the big show.
Yeah.
We have been the Five Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast, and for another week, we are officially ding, ding, dong.
Yeah.
Yeah.